Welcome to our YouTube channel, Knowledge Makers. Last week, we made a video on the intensified rivalry between Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates playing out in Yemen and beyond. As is often the case, this was a fast-moving situation with UAE-backed separatists in Yemen launching a rapid offensive against Saudi-backed forces before swiftly being pushed back. Since we wrote our last video, though, the Saudi-backed Yemen government forces continued to steamroll the UAE-backed separatists, seemingly ending the Nent South Yemen state in just a matter of days. So with Saudi Arabia having seemingly asserted its big dog status in Yemen, has the UAE, which backs a number of separatist or insurgent groups in the Middle East and Africa, bitten off more than it can chew? In this video, we're going to explain why Saudi Arabia appears to have the upper hand in the regional rivalry and where it might go next. Could you rank every single politician in the world? Hear our thoughts and argue with us on our podcast, The World Leader Leaderboard. Find it over on the TLDDR Podcast's YouTube channel or in your favorite podcast app. If you want more detailed background, you can watch last week's video. But as a reminder, Saudi Arabia and the UAE had ostensibly been on the same side in the Yemen civil war, intervening in 2015 in support of the internationally recognized Yemen government against the Iran-backed Houthis. However, their positions eventually began to diverge, with the Saudis continuing to back the Yemeni government and the UAE throwing its support behind the Southern Transitional Council, or STC, a separatist group seeking an independent nation in what was once the state of South Yemen. The STC was nominally aligned with the Saudi-backed Yemen government against the Houthis, but in December, the anti-Houthi alliance fell apart, with the STC capturing swathes of territory from Yemen government forces, including the oil-rich province right up to the border with Saudi Arabia. An alarmed Saudi Arabia struck STC positions in Yemen, and on the 30th of December struck the southern port of Mala, targeting what it said was a shipment of combat vehicles and weapons from the UAE, and accusing the UAE of stoking the STC offensive. Under pressure and perhaps seeking to avoid further escalation, the UAE began to withdraw its small troop presence from Yemen and Yemen government forces, with Saudi air support pushed the STC back to retake the captured provinces, and that's essentially where our last video left off. But since then, the STC has basically totally collapsed. Yemen government forces soon claimed control of all the STC's remaining territory, and following dialogue in the Saudi capital, Riyadh, the STC announced its dissolution, a day after its leader fled Yemen for the UAE. So, in a matter of days, a decade of the UAE's bid to build its influence in Yemen had been reversed, and Saudi Arabia had reasserted its regional power. There's also evidence that it's not just Saudi Arabia that's lost patience with the UAE's actions in the region, which can be described as building a network of non-state actors in the Middle East and Africa. According to Middle East Eye, Oman, which usually keeps a low profile with its traditionally neutral foreign policy focused on mediation, provided intelligence and military support for Saudi Arabia's recent strikes against the STC, whose offensive took them right up to Yemen's borders with Saudi Arabia and Oman. But as we explained in the last video, the Saudi-UAE rivalry is not just limited to Yemen. While the UAE has not officially recognized Somaliland, it does have strong commercial and security ties with the breakaway state, and may have played a facilitating role in bringing about Israel's recent recognition of Somaliland, prompting Somalia to announce on Monday that it was annulling all agreements with the UAE. Israeli recognition was met by strong Arab and Islamic opposition and has not translated into any further recognition. We also did a video on the subject linked below if you're interested, and in Sudan, the UAE backs the paramilitary rapid support forces in the civil war against the Sudan military, which is backed among others by Saudi Arabia. It's been reported in recent days that Pakistan is on the verge of striking a $1.5 billion deal, possibly brokered by Saudi Arabia to supply the Sudan military with weapons, jets, and drones. And we'll come back to the Saudi-Pakistani relationship later. In more public endorsement of Saudi Arabia's position last week in talks between Egyptian President Sisi and the Saudi foreign minister, Egypt reaffirmed its alignment with Saudi Arabia, drawing a clear dividing line with the UAE, stressing that Egypt was totally aligned with Saudi Arabia's stance on the crisis, in Sudan, Yemen, Somalia, and Gaza in a manner that preserves the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of states. For reference, despite strong Egypt-UAE relations after Sisi came to power in 2013, relations have strained more recently with the two countries finding themselves on opposing sides, notably in Sudan, where Egypt backs the Sudanese armed forces, and in Somalia, where Egypt is a strong backer of the federal government. One of the earlier points of divergence between Saudi Arabia and the UAE was their differing approaches to Israel, a dividing line that clearly still persists. Back in 2020, as part of the U.S.-brokered Abraham Accords, the UAE, as well as fellow Arab states Bahrain and Morocco, recognized the State of Israel, something that, despite the desire of the United States, Saudi Arabia has not done as it ties any potential recognition of Israel with Palestinian statehood. Since UAE-Israel normalization in 2020, the economic, technological, and security relationship between the two countries has only deepened. For example, the UAE has become Israel's largest Arab trade partner, and the pair have unveiled various joint defense projects. At the same time, the war in Gaza scuppered any prospect of Saudi-Israeli normalization, but the UAE's ties with Israel helped it position itself as the key Arab interlocutor with Israel, a role previously held by a decreasingly relevant Egypt. Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, is increasingly concerned about Israel's increasingly unchecked power and influence in the region. A few moments stand out: Israel's seizure of land and its strikes on post-Assad Syria, its attack on Iran's nuclear facilities in June last year, its unilateral bombing of Hamas leadership in Qatar last September, and more recently, Israel's recognition of Somaliland. As GW's Professor Mark Lynch wrote, for Saudi Arabia, the UAE seemed a critical part of a deeply threatening Israel regional project. This concern at least partly explains Saudi Arabia's attempts to diversify its security alliances in the region. Just days after Israel struck Qatar last year, Saudi Arabia signed a landmark mutual defense treaty with nuclear-armed Pakistan. According to recent reports by Bloomberg, Turkey is also seeking to join the Saudi-Pakistani Defense Pact, a move that would add additional military clout to the burgeoning alliance that could be seen as an attempt to build a counterbalance against an Israeli regional alignment. So with the UAE out of Yemen and Saudi Arabia seemingly bolstering its influence with the support of the likes of Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey, it appears that Saudi Arabia is on the front foot in this rivalry. But where things go from here remains to be seen. It seems likely, however, that the UAE and Saudi Arabia will compete with each other for advantage with the Trump administration, making Washington a key playing field in the regional rivalry. Whether or not you believe that the new year brings a new you, there's always pressure to find some way to better yourself as January rolls around. But where do you even start? Building new healthy habits isn't always easy to jump straight into. So that's why we always turn to Brilliant. That's because Brilliant focuses on real transformative learning, all while adapting to your own already established skill level. It starts you at the right level based on your background and designs practice sets and reviews personalized for you. Brilliant helps you advance at your ideal pace, giving you the best chance at sticking to your learning goals. For example, even if you think you're not a maths person, Brilliant will push you towards achieving what you didn't think was possible. Their comprehensive catalog takes you from foundational maths through algebra all the way to college-level calculus. With more courses being added each month, Brilliant has truly helped us expand our skill set and keeps us coming back every day to create those habits that help us grow. Suddenly, it's not so hard to stick to resolutions. So, to start the new year right and begin or continue your learning journey, you can try Brilliant for free for a full 30 days. Just go to brilliant.org/TLDDR, scan the QR code on screen, or you can click the link in the description. Brilliant's also given our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant.